We are absolutely going to be diving into some of the big four women of faith, okay? You know who they are: Eve, Rebekah, Ruth, and Esther, okay? Those are the big four women of faith that the Lord has truly been highlighting to his daughters and probably his sons in this season as role models, as blueprints, as examples, precedents of what he expects for his daughters, his sons in marriage and purpose. Like, he has really taken a lot of his daughters through the process of reading those stories and extracting literal, practical, applicable knowledge and wisdom in today's society, literally from those big four women of faith. Okay, so we are absolutely going to be focusing on Queen Esther and King Xerxes in terms of the story of Queen Esther and how she effortlessly stepped into her role and what was required of her. But I really want you all to understand that God presented all of those women to one man. Okay, kicking things off, getting right into the meat of the topic. God presented those women to one man. Okay, yes, we know Ruth was married before. We do not know about the past of any other of Rebekah or Esther, but we can assume that they were single women. They were in their they were teenagers when they were picked up or noticed by whoever they were noticed by. But those women were presented to one man, okay? They were already practicing walking as queens when they were presented to the man God had for them, okay? So that's a theme I definitely wanted to kick things off with, because it is imperative that you understand that you are a queen before you were even presented to your king. So in order to attract a king, you absolutely must be walking in your queen mentality, my dear, okay? That means you are embodying, the traits of a queen, the characteristics of Proverbs 31, that you are truly devoted to a life of service, okay, of having a servant heart, of having a heart posture for God's people, having compassion for souls. You're probably in the business of soul care of some type, no matter what industry you're in, okay? You are in the business of serving others because that's what God called you to do, okay? You are walking as if, not even as if, you're walking as a daughter of the Most High. You're walking as if you're going to be presented to your king any day, which means you're not out here dating casually. You're not out here being loose sexually, okay? You are pure, abstinent, practicing abstinent. And if you haven't, you're beginning to realize how important it is to practice abstinence, okay, as a daughter of the Most High, saving yourself for your husband, for your king, okay? If you desire the same for him, you have to practice that as well. So a queen, she not only talks the talk, she walks the walk, okay? Your actions and your words align. And these are just surface level things that I'm thinking of right now that a queen walking in that mentality is doing before she meets her king, okay? The queen is walking in purpose. She is serving. All of those women were found serving, okay? Ruth found serving, gleaning, okay? Esther was literally prepared an entire year. Yes, it was beautification, but I'm sure those ladies had to serve. I'm sure those women who were, swept off the street and pulled into the king's kingdom were, trained in some sort of service of work, a trade, Rebekah, she was found hauling gallons of water to feed camels, to nourish camels. These women were found serving, okay? You are not an idle woman of faith, a lazy woman of faith, okay, waiting around like a damsel in distress for a king to rescue you. You are active, you are productive, okay, you're purposeful, intentional, okay? You are actively seeking out the Lord's, desires and purpose for your life. You're walking in that. He's been pruning you for a season. You are flourishing in all things, even if it may not look like it. He's promised you that you have a life of prosperity to look forward to, okay? You are not on cruise control in your faith, waiting for God to drop manna out of the sky. We've spoken about this before, where a lot of God's children may be sitting around with their hands out, waiting for a handout, thinking that manna is eternal, an eternal gift, that your provision is going to fall out of the sky. No, honey, you've got to work for it, okay? You've got to work for the manna. Manna was a gift for a season, and then the manna stopped once they entered the promised land. The Lord was like, oh, no, you're going to plant and sow and harvest what you're going to eat. You're going to have to work, by the sweat of your brow for the things that you desire. I will provide, the raw materials for you to get started. A pastor once said, God doesn't provide tables, he provides trees. So yes, the Lord will provide the seed for you to plant, for you to sow, and then for you to nourish and then harvest so that you can, feed yourself, feed the people in your gates, serve people. But honey, we can't be waiting with our hands out, waiting for a handout, okay? And that's what it means to be a woman of lazy faith. No, we're canceling that. Queens are not lazy. They do not procrastinate, okay? They do not eat the bread of idleness. Come on, Holy Spirit. I believe that's from Proverbs 31. She's not a lazy woman, okay? She was a business woman, okay? We can talk about Proverbs 31 woman all day, but I'm just getting back to the original point. The women were presented, they were found ready, okay? They did not pursue, they were presented. And when they were found ready, walking in that divine alignment, in that royal mentality, okay, my dear? These women were ready to step into that role because they had practiced, they had become the queen that the Lord wanted them to be before they even started walking in that royal position. Or, Queen Esther, she was a queen, but Ruth, she was a queen in her own right. You know what I mean? She was a queen walking in her own power, maybe not as a queen of a kingdom, but being on Boaz's arm, hello, okay? From gleaning to owning, real quick, okay? Her level of influence changed, and she was ready to step right into that because of her service, because of how she navigated being a servant, okay? Just doing the hard work, putting her hands to the wheel and just getting it done, okay, girlfriend? And these are all things a queen knows. So when we speak about the Lord presenting the woman to one man, he did not present options to these men. He did not present options to these women. It was like, I have someone for you. So when we think about a queen attracting a king, it's just one person you're looking to attract. Now, I know some people may not believe in the concept of soulmates and the concept of just one person, and there are absolutely real life examples where the Lord had you marry someone and maybe that person passed, or they, are no longer your husband in terms of divorce, and that was ordained by God, okay? That's a very particular situation, and they were led to remarry, and even that marriage, flourished and was blessed by God. So there are no shortage of exceptions to the rule, okay? But when we think in terms of submitting to God for your first or second husband, in the case of Ruth, yes, whose husband passed away, okay? She was free to remarry, okay? It wasn't likely that she was going to, because look at her circumstance, look at her life situation for the time in which she lived. She was destined to a life of poverty, okay? But being the queen that she was, and being submitted to God, your people will be my people, your God will be my God, okay? That's something Ruth said to Naomi. She literally submitted her life to God. It was like, whatever is my portion, I accept it, I embrace it. Like, if this is the life you have for me, Lord, I'm here to work, I'm here to serve. And by serving, by walking with God, by working with God, stumbled right into the arms of a king. My dear, I cannot stress the importance of having that focus for your Father's business, okay? Having the focus for your Father's business, being about your Father's business, walking in purpose, okay? Pursuing that versus trying to chase men, okay? She could have, hypothetically, she could have, turned to a life of prostitution, okay? Of being a lady of the night or work in the corner. I don't know, whatever people are saying in the, whatever slang is, circulating these days, but she could have been that woman, okay? She could have, sold her body to make two ends meet, but she didn't. She said, you know what, Lord, I'm going to do things your way because I'm just not going to do it any other way. And it landed her in the arms of a king, okay? He was able to identify that as a woman I can work with, a woman I can cultivate, nurture, pour into, take care of, provide for. And she knew immediately, or, the way that Naomi confirmed it to her perhaps was like, this is a man that can take care of you, that can give you a future, a hope, okay? Things the Lord promises to us. And he uses people as vessels for those promises, okay? So if you're in a season where you're wondering, like, how am I going to make it? How am I going to pursue purpose if I don't have the resources I need? How am I going to get to my next level? Like, your next level, the resources you need, they're going to come through a person, an opportunity, okay? A divine connection. But you can't go out there going about it your way, trying to get God's results. You got to go about it God's way to get his results. Okay, girlfriend, that's what I really wanted to stress in bringing those three examples, to light, the three women especially. Eve was presented to her Adam straight up. Like, it was like, you were made for this man, literally made for him. Okay, so the king that you're hoping to attract, he's out there, honey. If God has placed that desire in your heart and has awakened that desire at this time, that you desire purposeful, divine partnership, okay, girlfriend? God pairs people based on purpose, aligned purpose, okay? Hence, purpose partner. If you truly desire purposeful partnership, you're going to attract the king, the man God has for you, naturally. And I'll tell you more about that, okay, girlfriend?